14box.com here, and we're going to be checking out today probably one of the worst grandkids ever. So apparently, like, this grandson stole $679,000 from his own grandparents for phony college tuition payments because he pretended to be attending Oxford. So let's get right into the story because, like, there's just so many things wrong with this. Okay? So prosecutors say Douglas Sinerth claimed he was attending Oxford and Assumption College, but that he really just kept the cash and never went to class. He had no respect for his elders. A Connecticut man has pleaded guilty to ripping off his own grandparents to the tune of $679,000, preying on their interest in paying for him to go to college but pocketing the tuition payments instead and never going to class. Douglas Sinerth, 32 of South Windsor, had convinced his grandparents that he was attending Assumption College in Massachusetts and later Oxford University in England, for which they agreed to pay his tuition, prosecutors said. Between 2011 and 2019, the grandparents gave Sinerth approximately $419,000 to attend school. He instead kept the money and was never actually enrolled at either school, according to court filings. So an attorney for Sinerth didn't respond to a message seeking comment. So to cover up his lies, prosecutors say Sinerth created false college transcripts, letters, and emails from imaginary officials at Assumption claiming he was a top student there. So one forged letter claimed that Sinerth was a good standing student at Assumption College for a little over 3 years now, and that he had made the dean's list every single semester, according to court papers. After his grandfather died in 2016, prosecutors said he continued to fleece his grandmother, convincing her to give him an additional $260,000 to invest in a fund Sinerth claimed was being run by a professor at Oxford. Neither the professor nor the fund actually existed. In 2019, when relatives grew suspicious of the purported investment fund, Sinerth began writing phony emails from the professor, John Reed, claiming that the money had grown 11.75% per year to $368,000. The emails later claimed that Reed was traveling to the US and would meet with them, but then came up with numerous excuses for why he couldn't come. So Sinerth was indicted on fraud charges in June 2021, but was already in custody in Connecticut, where he had been charged for a string of burglaries near his home and also for probation violation stemming from a 2017 conviction for selling ammunition illegally. So Sinerth pleaded guilty to one count of wire fraud and faces up to 20 years in prison when he is sentenced in May. He has also agreed to pay $680,000 in restitution. But I mean, like, let's just think about this for a second, right? There should have been so many red flags with this guy, even though they're like it's your grandson. Like, come on. He like him stealing so much money from his own family members is so disturbing. Like, how could you do that to your own family, right? Like, it's already bad enough to like fraud people in general, but to actually fraud your grandparents that love you so much that they're willing to give you pretty much close to $700,000 because they believe in your future. That's crazy. And honestly, extremely depressing. Wow. This is just dark. Like, this is just super dark.